Do the trashy pulp novels of the world have anything to offer? Are bestsellers all they're cracked up to be? Here at Terrible Book Club, we explore whether you really can judge a book by its cover, or its ridiculous synopsis. You ever passed a book and thought, ugh, who's reading this? We probably are.
Hello and welcome to episode 226 of the Terrible Book Club. I am not Paris, and this is not Chris.
No, I am not Chris.
That's right. We're saying that because this time we read I Am Not Starfire by Mariko Tamaki with art by Yoshitani, because this is a graphic novel recommended by our patron rootbeercutie, who simply stated in an email, I would like you guys to read this for the podcast. Sometimes a little mystery goes a long way, so thanks, rootbeercutie.
Yeah, and we chose this because we've never done a graphic novel on the show, and we were sort of hoping more of our high-level patrons would submit requests, but I think, I don't know, people are busy having lives, dealing with the, shitstorm that is America right now, so, they're busy. Mm-hmm. They're not thinking about TBC, and that's okay. Which means we got to sort of choose from a wider selection of other patron recommendations, random shit people have told us about, and we settled on this one. So, yeah, our first graphic novel, it only took 10 years. Great.
I feel like if the world were a TV show, every time you cut to America right now, loud tuba music starts up in the background. It's like that kind of part of our character arc.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, what we do here at the Terrible Book Club is read books that we assume will be bad based on their cover, title, summary, or some combination of the three. Sometimes, like today, we read books that our patrons, listeners, or friends recommend. So we do the opposite of what most people do in a bookstore or while they're browsing the internet. Usually this experiment results in a disappointing read, but once in a while we end up liking the book. In addition to our usual barnyard language, today's episode includes discussion or mention of, superhero stuff, like mild superhero violence. And mild bullying, kind of. It's real low stakes today, man. Okay. There's not that much that's bad to talk about.
We got some real world problems with super people. Is that what's happening?
Sure.
Okay.
Question mark.
Okay. All right.
All right. So I'm going to start off with the Amazon summary here / back of the book summary, the thing that is placed in front of your eyes to make you go, hey, I'll read this book.
Oh my God, Chris. I didn't realize I'm drinking star fruit lemonade from Polar Seltzer. I didn't realize I was themed. So I was on.
You are not brand. Star fruit lemonade by Polar. That the can is. But you're distinctly different.
But I wish we were sponsored by Star Fruit Lemonade by Polar Seltzer.
I am not sponsored by Polar Water, and I wish to change that.
With essence of fresh lemons. Anyway, tell us. Continue.
Okay. So this is the back of the book summary. 17-year-old Mandy, daughter of Starfire, is not like her mother. Starfire is gorgeous, tall, sparkly, and a hero. Mandy is not a sparkly superhero. Mandy has no powers, is a kid who dyes her hair black and hates everyone but her best friend Lincoln. To Starfire, who is from another planet, Mandy seems like an alien, like some distant, angry, light years away moon. And it's possible Mandy is even more distant lately, ever since she walked out on her SATs, which, her mom doesn't know. Everyone thinks Mandy needs to go to college and become whoever you become at college. But Mandy has other plans. Mandy's big plan is that she's going to move to France and do whatever people do in France. But then everything changes when she gets partnered with Claire for a school project. Mandy likes Claire, even if she denies it heartily and intensely. A lot. How do you become the person you're supposed to be when you don't know what that is? How do you become the person you're supposed to be when the only thing you're sure of is what you're not? When someone from Starfire's past arrives, Mandy must make a choice. Give up before the battle has ever begun, or step into the unknown and risk everything to save her mom. I Am Not Starfire is a story about teenagers and / as aliens, about knowing where you come from and where you are going, and about mothers.
That's a weird
little stumbly at the end there.
Yeah.
That's a little odd.
That's a little strange. Probably should have workshopped that one more time.
Okay, so some characters and setting here. The setting is high school in America. I'm not exactly sure where the Teen Titans are located,
Is
or
it
the
America?
Titans, I suppose,
Or just somewhere on Earth?
Oh yeah, they're definitely an American superhero
Okay.
team. So
Okay.
there's that.
I don't know shit about that.
Maybe
so.
it's in Metropolis, which is like DC
yeah,
Comics
yeah.
stand-in LA or whatever. It could be
this is
one of those, but
a
it's just
DC property.
yes.
Okay.
So you know what? I think maybe in characters and setting is where we can go over a little point that I had in the summary. But
Yeah, because
let's
I
just
don't
move through the.
I don't know anything about. I don't know a lot about superheroes, and I'm betting a lot of people who listen to us might not either. So we could use a little tutorial.
Okay. I mean, to be clear, I don't know much about this particular superhero team. I have a very surface level understanding that I will impart upon you and the
Great.
listeners, perhaps a little Wikipedia page. But again, we are in DC Comics City somewhere where Starfire be living and Mandy's high school generally. Our characters are Mandy. I think her last name might be Coriander, Koriand', because Starfire's real name is Princess Coriander from the planet Tamarin.
Wait, but people aren't referred to as Princess last name. They're referred to as Princess
So when
first
I
name.
looked up this book, her character name was Mandy Coriander.
Oh. Okay.
You can just call it Mandy, but that's what I saw in some other blurbs here. So I don't know, man. It's Mandy. She's our protagonist. She is the daughter.
It's an alien
of
civilization.
Starfire.
Who knows what they're doing, you know?
She's part alien. The dad is nowhere in the picture, and we just really don't ever talk about that at all, period.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Starfire, alien princess with superpowers and member of the Titans, a superhero team. Lincoln, who is Mandy's friend. Claire, who is Mandy's crush. Claire's two friends who are just there to be a little rude to Mandy sometimes.
Okay.
Two unnamed superhero stands who are just walking by Mandy in the halls and kind of pester her about her mom and herself a little bit. And then some of the Titans in a few scenes. This includes Nightwing and Cyborg and Raven and Beast Boy. So let's get into a little bit of the background of who the Titans are.
Yeah, I need this.
The Teen Titans are a DC superhero squad made up partially of sidekicks of like the Justice League. So, for example, Nightwing is a former Robin to Batman. He is one of the former Robins.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
But like he like grew out of his like sidekick status and became Nightwing, which is just like his different name for being Robin. But
no, that's good.
Own,
I accept that. I accept Nightwing. That's fine.
So like, you know, he has history with Batman. The character's name is Dick Grayson. At one point in the DC universe, he actually becomes Batman.
Yeah.
You know, comic book shit happens there.
Mm-hmm.
We have Cyborg, who is a cyborg. I don't know anything more than that.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think he was a sidekick or anything.
Maybe he was someone's phone before, and then he just got upgraded a bunch.
Evolved.
Yeah.
All the social media shit came alive. We have Raven, who seems to be some sort of mage, magic-y person. She's got like sorceress robes and has like a diamond on her forehead, does spell shit.
Okay.
Beast Boy, who is just Beast at this point, I believe. Not like, so that's different from Beast from the X-Men, who's a Marvel thing. This guy seems to be able to shapeshift into animals. He's like a druid class, essentially.
All right.
And then like we have Donna Troy, who is like Wonder Woman's sidekick. She's like young Wonder Woman. We have like Kid Flash, who becomes the Flash later. So at this point in the continuity, the Titans have grown up into like their own. They're no longer Teen Titans. Okay. They're adult Titans, and they're just kind of like their own thing. But they started as teenager sidekick squad that had their own comic series. And Starfire was part of this, as just like alien princess who came to Earth and joined up with the Teen Titans.
Yeah, I have
She wasn't
questions
anyone's
about
sidekick.
that. Like, why did she come to Earth? What's her whole deal?
Okay, well, that's actually
Does it
covered.
matter? Oh, okay. All right.
It's covered in this graphic novel somewhat, so
Okay.
we'll kind of get to that in the summary. Okay, so that is the background that I have for you here,
No, thank
Paris,
you.
but
That was good. That was good context. I needed that.
I also want to like send you in our Discord chat here the Google image search for Starfire.
Okay.
So you can just kind of check out the fact that she's had many, many different character designs, and this is a character who has been around for a long time. I believe since the 60s, in fact.
Oh shit! Really? Wow.
Yeah, so if I'm looking at the Teen Titans Wikipedia page, they first appeared in The Brave and the Bold number 54 in July 1964. So this ain't new shit. This is, you know, they've been around and they've been used in multiple ways, and there's like animated series on Cartoon Network and all these different comic books, and there is somewhat deep lore here, shall we say. The one interesting thing that I found out is that in sort of the mainline comic series, it is implied that Starfire and Nightwing have a romantic relationship.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, there's like a brief aside where some of the like superhero stands are like, is Nightwing your dad to Mandy? But that's as deep as it goes. Like, it's generally just like, it might as well be Immaculate Conception here. That like, it's really just like, and Mandy came along to Starfire at some point.
I have a little bit of a question. So in the illustrations for this, or the cover for this book, it looks like she's got like little fox ears, but in all the other drawings and depictions, she doesn't have ears. So
no, I think that's just like the outfit that Starfire be wearing on the cover.
Okay.
She's just like, I mean, it's the classic case
it
of
looks like she has ears. It's not her outfit. Sorry, it's her hair looks like she has ears. Is that?
Oh, it's what's styled that way.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought maybe she was not.
No, I mean, this is the classic alien from another planet, but it's a hot lady, you know?
Yeah.
Like she has different color of skin. I'm colorblind, so I can't tell you what color her skin is, but
it looks normal. It doesn't look, it looks like I am a tanned white lady with orange hair and green eyes, and I am very thin and tall and traditional, you know,
and assumedly can crossbreed with humans, so it's not that different.
Yeah, so I guess I've got questions about that, but I don't know that that's material to our story, really.
Sort of, kind of. Okay, anyway, why don't we start hopping into the summary that I wrote for this book?
Great.
This graphic novel, I should say here. So I'm going to start off with that, and Paris, feel free to jump in whenever you please if you need some clarification. I will have a couple of asides.
Okay.
Being a teen is hard enough, never mind also having a superheroine mom. Mandy is the daughter of Starfire, also known as Princess Coriander from the planet Tamarin. Mom's always doing superhero stuff like fighting in far-off galaxies, but also has time to parent, much to Mandy's dismay. Despite the alien genetics, Mandy seems pretty human. Dad's out of the picture and pretty much just brushed under the rug permanently. Mandy really hates being the daughter of a superhero, mostly because she feels as if she's trapped in her mom's shadow. You would think it would revolve around how Starfire is always busy with the Titans, but it's not. Starfire is actually very present in Mandy's life. She's there for every birthday where they do a little "do you have powers yet?" check. She's involved in Mandy's school life, and they generally have a standard mom-daughter relationship. So Paris, our first little aside here, if you had to have a superhero parent, who would you pick?
Oh dear.
We could do it like eliminate like who you wouldn't have. You know, like I feel like Batman generally, despite his traumatic.
Watchmen. I don't want any of the Watchmen as parents. That's a bad idea. So none of them. As much as
Rorschach as a dad would just be very confusing, and
none of them. I mean,
Dr. Manhattan as your dad, even more confusing.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, damn, that'd be the worst.
I've been your dad. I am continuing to be your dad. I will always be your dad.
Also, you can literally never be as cool or as impactful as me, and your life is meaningless. Yeah, that'd be the worst dad. who's a cool...
How about a Batman or a Superman?
No, the X-Men. I love X-Men. Like, let's like Storm.
Wolverine dad?
Storm mom? I would love to be have Storm as my mom.
Actually. Yeah,
She rules.
It's never rainy. She can just, like, make it go away.
Well, I would love to, maybe get a little weather powers, maybe fly a little bit. And, like, we're both, like, I'm getting I guess I'm getting rogue streaks now that I'm aging. But
Rogue's a tough one because
don't like
she
Rogue,
can't
though.
touch you ever. You can never have the warmth of touch with Rogue. But it also means she can't beat the shit out of you ever. So.
Mommy Storm. Mommy Storm. Mommy Storm.
Okay. I'm sure there's a big contingent that is down with Mommy Storm.
Yeah,
there.
well, I would, if I had to choose Storm from X-Men, hands down, easy, done.
I might choose the Flash, honestly, just to kind of get me around places easier. Like, just for the pure utility of, like, if I also had Flash powers, I would, like, be able to get places really fucking well, man.
Chris, what if
Just imagine zero commute all the time.
What if your parents were the fucking people from the show there? American superhero show. Can't think of the name of it. We both watched
There's a lot of them out there. I don't know if you know this, but, like, Marvel has been popping off with TV shows
the satire one, not the fucking stupid Marvel or DC ones. The serious, gory satire one about America.
Oh, The Boys?
The Boys! Thank you. God, I couldn't remember the name of it. Imagine any of that.
I don't think I would want any of The Boys. Like, no fucking thank you.
No, I mean,
there's a whole plot line about Homelander is the worst dad, so you know.
Yeah, not Homelander.
Fuck yeah, please, God.
Not
like, no
A-Train. No.
I want like one of like the mildly mutated mutants that are like ancillary to the X-Men storylines, where it's just like this is a guy that has like a really big hand or something, just like they're not like cool enough mutants to like be on the X-Men or whatever.
What if you're the guy from the X-Men Star Trek crossover book where he just turns into a giant strong penis? Like, what if that was your
Oh yeah, I just am a boner. I'm just a walking boner at all times, and I can shoot white light out of the top of my bald head. That's
that
me.
has purple
Penis
veins.
boy, watch out.
Wait, no, but if you wouldn't be penis boy, you'd be like balls or something. Like, you'd be descended from the penis.
I'm the scrot, the sidekick.
I am side scrote, here to not really save the day, but just hang
I am
around.
not penis. Let's be clear. I am scrot. I'm just hanging out really the whole time. Okay, so we've picked our superhero parents. Mandy is resentful of her mother because she's a traditionally attractive alien lady who wears skimpy costumes and is a media darling, while Mandy is a chubby goth teenager with an attitude. She also resents when people at school pester her about her mom, or to show off her own powers that she doesn't have. She met her best friend Lincoln when he told a couple of people to fuck off and stop bothering Mandy about her Starfire knowledge. They've been buds ever since. Mandy hates pretty much everyone else except Claire, who Mandy totally has a crush on. So it's a bit overwhelming when she and Claire are assigned to be in a group together for an English project. Mandy is a little flustered, especially since Claire is immediately very kind and normal towards her.
Okay, that sounds good.
They meet up at Claire's house to start the project and of course start talking a bit. Claire asks about Mandy's plans after high school, to which Mandy says, nothing yet. Mandy doesn't want to go to college. Her general plan at the moment that she told Lincoln earlier is to, quote unquote, go to France and have coffee and pastries and not be bothered by people asking her about her mom, since I guess the French don't have superheroes or don't care about them or something. I'm not quite sure what the logic is here because, superheroes are definitely a global thing in the DC universe.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is very America focused, but there's definitely like a French Batman or something out there whose like parents were killed in a horrible baguette accident.
Yeah, French Batman. I can't do a French accent despite my name. What tricks does French Batman have? Like, instead of a Batmobile, he's got like a bat bicycle, like with like rockets on it, like baguette
the
rockets.
The guest is too. I would never pollute. I bike to all my superhero
He's
excursions. Batman,
but he's got a little twisty, curly mustache that you could see.
Also, he's not a billionaire because the French would have guillotined him if he amassed that amount. So, like, the Batcave is a little more toned down.
No, it's an actual Batcave. It's an actual Batcave. He's actually a bat ecologist. He's a, what is it, chiropter, chiropterology? Is that the best study of bats?
His utility belt is just like different espresso shots and like lattes and shit just to kind of get him going. He has to have a nice sit down in the middle of a fight and just like kind of relax a bit, have a cigarette, you know?
Oh, yeah, cigarette. I mean, that's breakfast, right? Cigarette, 2 frog legs. That's what you do.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, Mandy's general plan is to go to
Batman
France.
is killing me. I don't know why it's killing me.
French Flash actually isn't that fast. He's really chill about the whole
he's
thing. He
really
gets there a
chill.
little bit quicker. He's just really on time for the most part. All right, anyway, Claire asks if that's why Mandy walked out of her SATs 2 days ago. Mandy is all, what's the point of college? And then quickly bails when Claire says her 2 friends are coming over because he doesn't like Claire's 2 friends who are kind of dicks to her. She walks in to Starfire on a date with some guy at their house. He's literally just like a normal dude named Doug who is hanging out at the house with Starfire. The date knows about Mandy because, of course, Starfire won't stop talking about her. Mandy grabs some food that Starfire had time to cook after doing some fucking superhero shit and also going on a date with Doug and goes to her room.
Yeah,
all right. So Paris, query, hot superhero mom brought back a normal guy date home. How do you respond? What are you doing? You doing the Mandy thing? Just going in the room?
I'm just like, man, I'm just wondering internally, like, what could they possibly have in common? And then, yeah, just piecing out, being like, man, I'm going to put on some loud music, 'cause I don't want to hear that.
It's about to get real weird here. For the record, Doug seems like normal. He's like trying to interact with Mandy and is like personable and everything. He's just Doug, who is here and is never seen again throughout the whole book. So we are left to assume that Starfire is just like out here hooking up with random Tinder dudes or something.
Well, what if
having her fun?
What if, we don't...
Which is fine.
No, it's fine, but I think what's really happening is Starfire consumes men with her unearthly fire after she fucks them, which is why we never hear about Mandy's dad and why we only see Doug this once. They just get incinerated after the fuck, I think.
So she's just secretly a succubus, and like all the dudes are like, I don't even care, man. If this is how I go out, this is fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's my headcanon. All right, continue.
All right, Starfire actually makes sure to follow Mandy to her room and ask if something is upsetting her, but Mandy brushes her off. So again, taking time out of her man consumption to just be like, hey, Mandy, are you chill, right? Is everything cool?
She seems like a pretty cool mom so far. Like, I mean, I guess we haven't gotten that deep in, but she seems fine.
No, Paris, I'm just going to spoil it for you now. Starfire is a totally good mom. She is is present in Mandy's life. There's some incredible shit that happens later, so we'll get to that.
Okay.
The next day, Mandy spaces out during a softball game at school because she's in her own head about her life and also kind of checking Claire out, causing her team to lose. Claire invites Mandy out with her 2 friends for coffee, and when the friends get a little rude to Mandy by asking her why she's so apathetic and what her plans for college are if she walked out on her SATs, Mandy pretends it's because there's an alien blood ritual that she has to go through to gain powers, and thus the whole college thing isn't for her, in a gambit to seem cooler? This despite the fact that she worries about living in Starfire's shadow and talking about she's not her mom. So I don't know, man.
Yeah. No, I get it though, because like you don't want to be embarrassed just by saying like she doesn't really have a reason. So she makes up something that sounds like inarguable. I get it.
Yeah. At home, Starfire tries to sit Mandy down to talk about her future education plans, and Mandy's like, oh, fuck you, Mom. Stop being on my case. Why don't you go fire an ultraviolet ray at an alien or something?
Why don't you go incinerate another penis?
Why don't you eat another man? Starfire tries to pry a bit, but drops it after it's clear Mandy won't be responding. The next day at school, Claire actually flirts with Mandy a bit and asks to come by Mandy's place after school to do more work on the project. She does, only to find the Titans are around as well, since they're about to go off on some kind of intergalactic mission, and I guess Starfire's place is as good as any to do some prep work.
Yeah, sure.
They're not like at the Teen Titans. There is a Teen Titans headquarters that appears later in the book. It's a big building shaped like a T, actually. So you know,
Chris, so it's under construction. That's what I'm going with. They're adding a pool or something. It's fully
constructed in a later panel, so you know.
Oh, maybe at that time they were just reupholstering some furniture, redoing I don't know, cleaning the windows.
They're all hanging out over there. By the way, I gotta say, like in this section of the book, it's like Nightwing's ass is always towards the camera and he's cheeked up real hard. I don't know what is going on here, but it's like specifically he's doing like the lady superheroine thing where his butt is just like always facing the camera and it's nice and round. He's got kind of a wedgie.
Your camera was frozen on you, just hold it up like you're holding an ass. It was just frozen with you like
that's me and Nightwing's cheeks.
Oh my god, all right. Well, I'm sure we'll take some time to look at the art in a little bit, but continue.
Mm-hmm. Claire acts all nonchalant around all these superheroes, and that makes Mandy swoon even more. At the end of the night, she gives Mandy a hug, and Mandy is overjoyed. Until the next morning when she sees Claire's social media, which has a recent selfie with some of the Titans. Mandy is convinced Claire just got close to her to get close to the Titans, and unloads on her at school. Claire is confused and she legitimately just got a selfie with some celebs that were nearby, but Mandy is in full rage mode. That's crushed when she gets home to Starfire, who isn't supposed to actually be home because Starfire actually came back from a fucking intergalactic mission because she was called by the school and told about Mandy's SAT walkout.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Oh, wow.
Holy fucking shit.
Chris, what kind of phone plan do they have?
How do you contact
new meaning to
mom
sat phone.
is like galaxies away.
The satellite phones have really expanded.
I really want you to imagine like the alien race that is being saved from genocide by the Teen Titans, and like a section of you has to die because Starfire had to dip out to go back home to confront her teen daughter about not doing her SATs. Like, I'm sorry, Gorbulons, but like we had to sacrifice millions of you because Mandy didn't fucking take her SATs and Starfire wasn't around to hold the line.
Yeah, can't you just like finish the war and then go home? Like, does it need to be right now?
Okay, but this is like a huge point in Starfire's column for like parenting, right?
Yeah,
she's like, okay, listen, Mandy is in a crisis right now of some kind. I'm sorry, Gorbulons. Millions of you will have to die.
Also,
to the Borshulons.
How are you taking a call in the middle of that war? Like, how is that working? All right.
This is like, honestly, this is an incredible moment in this comic.
Then again, you know what? I take that because there were phones in trenches in World War II, weren't there?
Sure.
Or Vietnam.
Yeah.
Or was it Vietnam when that happened? Shit, I don't
Paris,
remember.
I don't fucking know, and I don't know how this relates to intergalactic
Korean
school
War?
phone calls.
Well, I'm saying, like, how could you possibly take a phone call during war? But then I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure in wars we've had in the last several decades, there have been phones and like people running around with phone apparatus, right? Am I right about this?
Sure, but you know, it's like you're not in the trench and you get a call from the high school and it's like your daughter actually like got suspended. You're like, sorry guys, gotta go home from the war because my daughter.
Yeah, that's real weird. It's really weird. Anyway.
Incredible momming. That's some top tier momming right there. Starfire is upset. And Mandy runs away to her room again, but sneaks out to go get a coffee at like 8 p.m.
Oh, 8 p.m.
Starfire
coffee.
chases Mandy down because she can fucking fly. Like, imagine your mom can just like fucking chase you down from the air. Yeah. Mandy's like, fuck you, mom. You can't tell me what to do. Then, bam, Starfire's sister, Blackfire, appears out of nowhere.
Oh, no.
Having come from the planet Tamarin in search of Mandy because Blackfire is queen of Tamarin and sees Mandy as a threat to her throne, despite the fact that Starfire escaped Tamarin explicitly to not be a prospect for the throne, since Blackfire is like real murdery about that shit.
Okay.
Here's your backstory about why Starfire came to Earth.
Okay, got it. All right, so evil twin Blackfire or whatever.
Blackfire demands that Mandy face her in ritual battle the next day. And so she kind of got the jump on Starfire and Mandy with a whole ass alien platoon. They are imprisoned in a box overnight.
Okay. All right.
The next day at school, there's a lacrosse game going on, and Blackfire's like, yeah, this is perfect place to stage a battle for the throne of an entirely different planet. Sure. So she's all like, behold, citizens of Earth and this lacrosse game at a high school, the battle for the throne of Tamarin. Starfire tries to fight in Mandy's place since, well, Mandy has no powers, and gets her ass beat pretty quickly to the point where it looks like she might die. Oh, Mandy is overwhelmed by this and finally gets quote-unquote mad enough to gain some powers Starfire has.
Super Saiyans it.
She beats Blackfire's ass and the Titans come back from their intergalactic mission in time to round Blackfire up and, I don't know, put her away or something. Not sure where that alien platoon went. everything's all hunky-dory now that Mandy has powers. She's brought into the Titan's fold, sort of, designs her own costume, and picks out a name. Mandy the Destroyer.
Oh, that's so
Claire
dumb.
and her are dating now after Claire finally got through to Mandy that she didn't mean anything from that selfie other than, hey, cool superheroes. The end.
Okay.
Okay, I'm assuming that you have some issues here, Paris.
Well, we already talked about a couple, but yeah, I don't like a superhero just coming into their powers, beating a superhero who's been alive for, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of years. I'm guessing they're aliens, so their lifespans are probably longer than our, maybe, even if not, even if we're talking about decades of proficiency in honing your evil craft, and of course you're like beaten out by a kid who just woke up to powers like 2 seconds ago. I don't love that narrative. It doesn't ever make sense to me.
Real classic cliche that's honestly very stupid, especially in the context of this particular story. So let's jump into the rubric with technical construction. Now, I had to think about this a little bit because this is a graphic novel.
Yeah.
As opposed to a novel with just words on the page. So I'm adding a little bit of art considerations as we move through the rubric here.
Okay.
So when we consider technical construction for a graphic novel, we're thinking about things like, you know, how is each speech or thought bubble or narrative block positioned amongst the art, and how are the panels sort of done, which I guess you can also say is part of moment to moment. So there's a little bit of a gray area here. Basically, I don't have much to say about technical construction because that is fine. There's not really any typos or anything. It's legible. It's very easy to figure out what panel you're supposed to be going from to read the next thing. So I had zero issues reading through this graphic novel. So I'm inclined to just give technical construction a 1 and move on from there.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so we can move into plot construction. For general coherence, okay, obviously, big old problem here with how the whole book is set up to be about living under the shadow of a famous parent and how you want to differentiate yourself from that. Right. But then at the end, you just get your mom's powers and joins up with mom's team anyway. How is this at all a story about not being Starfire when you just turn into teen goth Starfire at the end?
Yeah.
It steps on itself so hard here because you're led to believe that this is a story about struggling with identity as a teenager of a superheroine mom parent. And in the end, nothing is earned. Nothing is thought about. It's just like, oh, I got mad enough because my mom was in trouble to save her life. And now I'm part of the Titans, kind of. And everything is cool. So you didn't learn anything. You didn't grow or develop. You didn't even have like a come to Jesus moment about your shitty attitude towards your mom, who was trying to just be a mom while also balancing, I don't know, the fate of other intergalactic civilizations on her shoulders at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand what the thought process for this plot was. It seems so incredibly phoned in. It's like, okay, I need to write some kind of story about like a teenage offspring of a superhero. She's struggling with identity, but I don't know, it's all cool in the end because she has powers. Whatever. Give me my paycheck.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been cooler if Gothfire or whatever had gotten her powers and then decided, like, I'm still gonna go to France and I'm gonna figure out what I want to do with my powers if I want to do anything at all.
Sure. But
like,
it's not at all that. It's just like, actually, I do want to conform and fit into my mom's lifestyle in the end because I finally got the powers. Not forging her own path in the least with anything.
Right.
And again, not even earned. Like, I would even kind of accept it if there was a certain point where she realizes, oh, my mom's actually just trying to be a mom in this kind of crazy circumstance to me, and she does care about me.
Yeah, there's no like
something she has to offer.
Reconciliation, right? Like, that never happens.
No, there's none of that. I will note that I did some real brief surface level reading on the author here, Mariko Tamaki, and she is a well-known graphic novel writer about like queer teens or people that are queer. Like, that seems to be like her area that she works in.
Okay.
And not that everything she does has to be about that. And obviously, like, I actually like that Mandy here is just like, you know, she likes girls and that's just how it be. There's not really any commentary on that, but there are actually so many layers of feeling alienated from everyone around you that you could explore here, right?
Yeah,
being queer, being a literal alien, being the daughter of a superheroine. All that shit you could dive into, but you never did in any way. So I can't speak for the quality of this author's other work, but that's what made this seem incredibly phoned in to me.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you talk about all that? Because then it really can be about alienation in every sense of the word. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird.
And forging your own path through that and like not having to like want to fit, which is like a huge thing that lots of teens deal with. So this book was marketed kind of like for teen or young adult readers. So you could have a lot to say in that area, but it has zero to say in that area. It seems to be saying like, just stick it out and you'll get your parents' same superpowers, or like just rely on that generational wealth, I suppose, and it'll all work out. Okay, rules following. There's so little setup for rules that I struggle to say whether it does a good job or not. We're told nothing about the heritability of superpowers except like, it might happen, it might not. And it's the classic, I got mad enough is the powers on moment, which of course it is.
I hate that.
Like, it's, I really dislike when the way that you earn your leveling up is just like, I got upset that someone I cared about is in mortal danger. Like, that's the only thing that will spur self-development or passion enough to get good or earn something. A ruined opportunity here. But because there's not much rules here, I can't say for sure whether it follows rules or not. I don't know what the DC universe genetic inheritability of crossbreed alien and human DNA is for, so who the fuck knows?
You know, you'd think with all of their intellectual prowess, boundless sources of wealth and like status in society, they'd have some kind of like research lab where they figure this shit out and it is established, like all this stuff.
I mean, fuck it, like Nightwing is explicitly a former sidekick of perhaps one of the greatest detective-y and science-y minds in the DC universe, because Batman is one of those guys that's like, he's just good at figuring shit out all the time.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it's science or detective work or crime, he just can figure shit out. That's his power.
Brain guy.
Okay, character quality, it's bare minimum here, guys. I struggle to think of any qualities for any character beyond the surface. Lincoln is a loyal friend, and that's it. He doesn't have any other identity besides he's on Mandy's side. That's his whole character. Claire is a cute girl who likes Mandy. That's it. Her depth is that you might assume she's the popular girl cliche because of how she's drawn. She's like blonde and like bubbly looking, sort of, but she's just like a nice girl. She has zero character beyond liking Mandy and standing up for her to her dickish friends, but all of that revolves around Mandy.
Yeah.
Starfire, a well-known superhero in other DC comics, could be swapped for any mom who cares about their child, barring the having superpowers bit.
Yeah, and I don't get the sense that she's pressuring Mandy to be thin or look like her or be sparkly or any of that. So
0%.
What's the there's no conflict here other than kid making assumptions and not actually talking to parent, which is kind of realistic, I guess, but yeah, it's a little bit odd.
Starfire is just like, could you like do decent in school and have a little bit of a plan? Like, not even like pressuring her, it's just like, let's talk about your plan.
Yeah,
is all that happens. It's completely reasonable parenting that Mandy has a shit ass attitude about.
Dude, let me tell you, if I had a parent like this, my life would have been better.
Right? The whole time I'm reading this, I'm like, Mandy, you are squandering so much opportunity here. Like, just I do not get it. I had such, honestly, a revulsion towards Mandy the whole book. So she's obviously the character that has any depth whatsoever. But I just find her to be shitty towards everyone around her except Lincoln and Claire, because Claire is cute.
I don't know, but hang on. Pause on this, Chris, though. But like, think about me and you at 16. We didn't know each other then. But like, I don't know. we're probably both insufferable in different ways, right?
Oh,
like teenagers
yeah.
are not great. So as a general rule, if you're an adult looking back at a child, right, you're like, oh man. So it's forgivable in some ways because sometimes kids are so in their own head, in their own little world, and they haven't, developed their frontal lobe all the way. So they're going to be a little dumb and selfish and unobservant. But I think your point is that it seems like this is the character that someone reading this is supposed to identify with, but that's hard to do because she's not very likable. I think that's where you're going, right?
Yeah, she's not very likable, and she's in kind of a wacky situation with her life that is fixed by her being a superhero at the end.
Yeah,
so I don't understand how this would be relatable to anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an aside where I did a little bit of sniffing around on Reddit about like this book and people's reaction to it. It's actually universally pretty panned by everyone.
Oh,
but
really? Okay.
There's a point here which I have a little trouble with. A lot of people were saying this is a self-insert fanfic by the author.
Oh.
And like, I gotta be honest with you, I don't know enough about the author to say whether that's true or not, because the most similarity I could find is that they're both chubby women with dark hair. Like, I don't think that's quite enough to say it's definitely a self-insert.
Yeah, it's like Mariko Tamaki's mom, like, I don't know, like Cindy Crawford or something, like a famous supermodel,
Well, she was involved in, Mariko was involved in like performance art circles, and I do think her parents are like in art circles. So
it's
perhaps
the Rick and Hale problem. I don't know.
Honestly. It seems kind of like that, to be honest with you, but I didn't dive deep enough. Maybe I should have done more research, but I was hitting a weird gray area. I was like, I don't know how much I want to know about this when it might just be shitty Redditors being like, it's a chubby person writing about a chubby person. That's clearly self-insert shit.
And like, ew, we don't like lesbians, which sometimes, people can be terrible about that. So
yes,
it's a good idea to not take it to heart too much.
I would push back on this a little bit and just say, again, I can't speak for the quality of Mariko's other work, and that seems well reviewed from what I've seen. So she certainly has something to say about that aspect of her life, but it's not really explored here at all either. Except, so unless your point is that Mariko Tamaki wants to be the daughter of a superheroine or something, I don't see what the self-insert fanfic would be.
I mean, and it's weird because if it's just based on appearance, it's like, okay, so any slim blonde white woman who writes a book about where the character's slim and blonde and white, just they has to be a self-insert every time. Like, these are general characteristics of people. Like, I don't know that that's, like you said, unless there's more to it. But anyway, I don't think it really has anything to do with the quality of the book in this case,
I just wanted to bring it up a little bit as like the main criticism that I see other people launching at it, and I just disagree. Like, that's not the problem here.
Yeah.
Like, even if it was the most Mary Sue character in the world, that's not the issue with what is going on here. It is the fact that you're stepping on your whole supposed character arc of trying to find your own individual path in the shadow of
again,
famous or popular parent.
There's no emotional reconciliation between the parent and child, which to me is like the supposedly around, the axis around which all of this turns, and yet we get no revolutions. So
indeed.
It's a bummer.
So I'm giving plot construction a big old -1 here.
Yeah.
It's unquestionably a -1. Okay, moment to moment. So in this section, I am going to bring in some art considerations here because prose is hard to talk about in a graphic novel when it's mostly dialogue. Sure, there's like little narration and thought bubbles and things like that we could, but like in the sense of a graphic novel, most of what you're pulling out of it is the art and how that helps the story out here. So I'm going to sort of rework this into like the experience of reading through a graphic novel section, which involves like how the art looks. So I want to talk a little bit about the art style here. It's clearly like a digital art sort of thing. I find it hard to have good opinions on art because of my visual disability here, especially with color blindness and things that.
Yeah.
but so the style of art here seems very like bucket fill color kind of a thing. There's like shading and things like that, but there's like often like a lot of flat colors. Like often if there's no explicit shadows, people's faces will be like one tone and like the eyes and mouth are sort of like drawn on that head shape or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
There's depth for sure, but it's sort of like, the best way I can describe it is if you start with a base layer of the corporate Memphis art style. I'm not sure if you know what that is, but it's a very sort of like...
I have no idea what that is.
If you look up just Google corporate Memphis right now, and you will see it's this very flat color art style, minimal detail. People often don't have faces. It's just sort of like...
Yeah, it is that. Okay. Yeah. All right,
it's like that, but with extra layers of detail on top of it. So there's like shading here and there. There's more like rumples and clothing. Okay. Mandy always has freckles. It's like she's the only person that has freckles in the entirety of the book and the art style. I'm not sure why that is, but I think it might be like an alien heritage thing. I don't know, because Starfire might have like a little bit on her at sometimes. Okay. And I will say that generally, page to page, that there is some like exciting moments with like how the art is done. You have some nice splash pages with some characters that are drawn out like in further detail, like a full figure kind of thing happening. The sense of motion is pretty good in a lot of things. Often when Mandy is overwhelmed or confused, there might be some sort of visual indicator. Like there's like one page where when she's like walking out of her SATs because she's getting anxious, there's like a spinning pencil as if it's falling to the ground, but it's like cutting through the middle of all the panels as she's kind of having like this anxious moment. So I thought that was a cool thing.
I'm just sort of paging through and it looks pretty good to me. I mean, I'm not really... Coincidentally, I recently read a graphic novel for the first time in more than a decade. I read A Guest in the House. And it's a very different style from this, but I really enjoyed that too. And I was like, damn, I should really find more graphic novels because actually more enjoyable than I remembered. But anyway, yeah, I mean, again, not an expert here, but just paging through, this looks pretty good. Like, I feel like,
yeah,
I would be proud of the way this, the graphics and art came out. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is basically the point I'm getting across here. I think the illustrator, or the artist, I should say, Yoshitani, did a pretty good job. This isn't my favorite art style for graphic novels, but it works for the vibe. Like, it's young adult centered.
Right, yeah.
And I think it generally works, and there's a lot of good detail work in there. So I like the art enough to say that a good job was done here.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Now we can move into dialogue here, and this is where I will read some passages from the graphic novel. I might have Paris read one as well, just to get an idea of what we're dealing with here. I might describe the panels as I work through here, because again, that's a pretty big component of what is going on here. Okay, so the scene that we are starting with here, this is that softball game that Mandy spaces out in. We are beginning on a page where Claire is very, let's say, lovingly illustrated here. She's in her like gym shorts and a soft t-shirt. She's next to a fence and there's flowers all around her, so she looks like extra nymphy, shall we say, in this panel. She's even got like little barrettes in her hair that kind of like match with some other things.
I'm just going to help out a little with the colors here. So the barrettes, the flowers, and her shoes are all very vibrant orange. So it's like a nice way to pop the color when everything else on the page is sort of this like muted green, tan, gray, blue.
So we kind of like cut to a panel, like a wide shot of the baseball field, and Mandy is thinking to herself, Claire is a popular girl who's always going to be that way. Strike one, ball two. Mandy is just kind of spacing out here generally. Hopefully because it's what she wants to be, literally a panel of a cloud. Strike two. Me, I just don't pretend to like Jim, okay? Fly ball. Get it. And there's like action shots of baseball happening, and all of a sudden there's like a baseball or softball in the air in front of Mandy. Truth? Mandy, come on. I don't even really know what I am. Come on, Mandy, gah! At least I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. Mandy just fully missing a ball. You suck, Mandy. Screw you. You can't be disappointed if you're already walking away. All right, that's it. Hit the showers as a coach, like blowing a whistle here.
Yeah, Mandy kind of sucks, right?
Yeah. We cut to like post game. There's two of Claire's friends here. Look, it's Miss Apathetic 2000. Really? Mandy and Claire coming around a corner. Wow, bowling outside the changing room? So old school. Hey, Mandy, says Claire. We're skipping bio. Want to come? Me? Seriously? Says one friend to another. Come on. Okay. And now they're walking outside of the school, and Mandy is thinking to herself, and what do Deb and Derek talk about when they skip school to buy expensive coffee? I know you're dying to find out. I am. Now they're outside the coffee time. Oat is a carb, Deb. Not when it's a milk, Derek. Like, it's a gas. It's still a carb. Stretch jeans are basically for fat people, unless they're dark denim. Then it's like leggings? Oh, totally. So this is like Derek and Deb just sort of like talking while Claire and Mandy trail behind.
Also, like, talking shit about fat people, and Mandy is fat, so that sucks. Like,
Derek and Deb still talking to each other. The number of people who wear leggings is like gross. And then Claire pulling Mandy aside. Hey, let's chill here. They're in front of like a playground in a slide. I love these things. Mandy thinking to herself, of course, at some point we're talking about me. Deb. So, Mandy thinking, and here we go. Claire kind of sighing to herself. Derek sipping a coffee. Claire tells us you're not going to college. Panel of Mandy looking nonplussed. Yup. Interesting. Claire saying, guys. Deb saying, so it's like aliens don't go to college? Mandy with a raised eyebrow. That's not prejudice. That's just me trying to get information. Dark panel of Mandy.
Dark Mandy. Yeah.
I understand. No, Deb, we don't go to college. We undergo an initiation. Panel of Claire like perking up a little bit here. Deb going, a what? Derek spitting out his coffee. Mandy, yeah, it's pretty barbaric by Earthling standards. A blood right to defend the honor of my family. A battle that two enter and only one leaves. Mandy has mounted a plastic slide. To win, I will summon the power of my ancestors. Then I will assume my true form, destroy my enemies, or be ripped into shreds and tossed to the cosmos to rot among the stars. Very epic panel of her on top of the slide with her fists raised. Mm-hmm. Derek and Deb like, seriously? Mandy falls on and like sort of sits on her butt at the edge of the slide. Ahem. Gets really in Deb's face. No. Derek and Deb aside. I told you she was weird. What the fuck? Claire kind of groaning to herself. Mandy sliding down the slide. It's a joke. Plus, you can't rot in space. No oxygen. Mandy walking away and throwing her coffee out. Good luck in college, kids. Okay. That's that scene of Mandy just kind of being like having an attitude towards Derek, like rightfully deserved in some ways, right? Like if she's going to have an attitude towards anyone, it should probably be Derek and Deb, but they're kind of like upset at her for like spacing out during the softball game and like not really ever caring about anything in school, which is like it's not reasonable to be as bullying as they are about it, but it's like reasonable to be annoyed, I would say.
Right. I mean, I think I liked how Mandy handled that situation, the second situation there. And I mean, obviously it's also supposed to be kind of funny that this thing that she makes up turns out to be true, right? When she actually does have to battle her aunt to the death or whatever. Okay,
so at this point, I would like you to take over, Paris. There's a panel here where Lincoln is texting Mandy, so you can start from there.
Okay.
This is immediately after what I just read.
Okay, so right after Mandy tosses her cup and says, good luck in college, kids, Lincoln, there's a screen of Lincoln texting her, and Lincoln says, where are you? And Mandy says, skipped with Claire and D&D. And Lincoln, and then you can see Lincoln receiving a text while waiting at the bus stop from Mandy, and Mandy says, it was just coffee. Okay, Mandy replies with 4 laugh emojis and says, she's like 50. And Lincoln says, oh my god, not that person, a nice lesbian who can run away to France with and eat baguettes. Lincoln then says, I'm sure it was very enlightening, with a light bulb emoji. And Mandy says, more like puke emoji. Lincoln says, you deserve better, with some kind of gif that I can't really describe or identify because it's too tiny. And then it's Lincoln kind of looking sadly at his, or maybe thoughtfully at his phone with his whale shark backpack on his front. And then he is heading somewhere. They're texting. Mandy says, "You don't even believe I'm going." Lincoln says, "I'm feeding your fantasy, waiting for my noodles." And he's eating ramen or something, some kind of noodle bowl. Mandy gets home, and presumably Starfire says, "You are home." And Mandy says, "Mom?" And is like, all concerned. Starfire, with little praying hands in her fluffy marabou and mesh robe and bra and midriff exposing pants, says, "I am ready to discuss your future education plan with you." And she has like snacks set up, it looks like, or something. And Mandy says, "Okay." Starfire says, "I ordered the Chinese." Mandy says, "For the future? I don't... Look, what are these? The college brochures? All of the colleges?" And Starfire is like overturning a rattan basket full of brochures, and they're just like coding Mandy. "It is a very important decision for you to make. Perhaps you wish for the egg rolls?" "Oh, rolls, sure." And Starfire is like very excitedly like handing her a plate of Chinese food. "I don't have a top 3. Do you have a top 5 or 6? "I don't have that either." "What do you want to study?" "I don't know that either. I'm still thinking about it." "I am here to help you with your thinking." "Mom, daughter, you don't understand." "What is it I do not understand?" "Why are you digging into my life all of a sudden?" "Because that is what the responsible parents do." "No, it's not." "Something is wrong." "Nothing is wrong. I'm going to my room." "Mandy, did I mention it's my birthday in 2 weeks?" "It is. I'll be 17. "Mandy." "Mom, I'm just doing my homework. We can talk about college tomorrow." "Hey, good night." On Earth, people get secondhand cars with giant bows on them for their 17th birthdays. No idea where you go to get a bow that big.
Yeah, okay, so we can kind of pause there because it's just, for me, really illustrative of the relationship that Starfire and Mandy have. And, you know, Starfire is an alien princess, so she has her cute little, like, I didn't assimilate English all the way because I used the definite article a lot kind of things happening there. And, like, Mandy kind of teases her for it, too, which I think is, like, a little shitty to do.
Yeah.
So, like, both of these sections back to back are what kind of made me extra dislike Mandy. And in one situation, it's people picking on her about her future. And in another situation, it's her mom asking her to, like, not even have a plan, but just like, I want to talk to you. Like, do you have anything yet?
Yeah, let's just talk about it. Yeah.
Nowhere in that scene is Starfire like, you should have a plan. She is kind of like, you should have a plan, but like, let's figure it out together. Look, I got the Chinese food. I know you like that. I have some egg rolls. And Starfire even be like, this is what responsible parents do. I would like to be a responsible and present parent for you. And Mandy, I can understand being overwhelmed as a teenager. That's not unrealistic at all. But this is Mandy's attitude generally all the time, constantly. And she's almost never willing to cut her mom slack until like the very end where she has powers too. Hooray.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so now I'm going to read a section later on where Mandy is coming home again and Starfire is home. This is when Starfire has come home from the intergalactic mission. Oh. No, we're not doing the Doug thing. The Doug thing is earlier in the book. Okay. But this is Starfire having been called back from the intergalactic mission to, I don't know, save. I've made up that it's a save them from alien genocide, but you know, who the fuck knows? The important thing is she's back from space. You come back here in that door with that look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lock. So big splash page of Starfire with her arms crossed. She's in like, I don't know, superhero business casual kind of outfit here. It's like a mini skirt and like pumps, like white pumps with like sort of a, I don't know what you call that kind of top, halter top?
Yeah, it's a halter top, but it's also very open and low cut. So it's like, kind of just 2 strips over your boobs attached to a collar is how I would describe it.
It's giving pissed mom right here. So Mandy walks in. Oh, Mom, I thought you were on a mission. I was supposed to be in the Sector B of the Damascus system. Then I got a call from the guidance counselor of your school. Fucking how? Fucking how?
Again, the coverage on satellite phones is really good now. They really figured it out.
Light years away.
Yeah, they got it down.
Mandy huffily saying, okay. She said you walked out of your SAT. Mandy doesn't reply. She said you walked out of the SAT. I heard you. I'm not taking my SAT because I'm not going to college. Starfire, no. What? I meant to say, yes, you are going to college. Why? Because it is what kids your age do. You go to school, then you go to another school. You didn't. In my time, I studied, trained. It's not life and death for you. You are lucky it is not. But that does not mean you do not have the duty to be the best that you can be. You will take the test again. Mandy, no, I won't. There's sort of like there's like motion lines and they're being very confrontational. There's like a zigzaggy tear between them. All of a sudden, smash cut to Mandy's door with caution tape and a keep out sign and like some like Hot Topic ass stickers on it.
Yeah.
Thought thing. She has no idea. And I'm sick of it. No more tests. She's getting dressed and tossing something into her bag. No more trying. She's feeding her pet bird. She has a pet bird, by the way.
It's a cockatoo,
she's sneaking out of her window. I'm done. Stomp, 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 like walking away here. And that's really all I wanted to cover here of just like, once again, Starfire being a totally reasonable parent pissed off about something, being called in from outer fucking space by the guidance counselor who's concerned about Mandy's well-being. And so is Starfire. And Mandy once again responding kind of shittily, which, yes, big caveat here of like, it's teens be doing this. But it's incredibly hard to find Mandy likable. It is incredibly hard to find Mandy likable.
Agree with you after my experience of these sections. Yeah.
All in all, though, what I want to say here is that the dialogue is actually very decently written, reasonably done. It's not deep either, you know, it's just like, because this is such a shallow surface level story, it's not like we can dig that deep into things. But I found Starfire's dialogue as an alien mom just trying to be like, okay, this is like what happens here. I'm trying to make sure that my daughter is brought up in a decent, responsible way. And trying to be the responsible parent, and also like Mandy's dialogue as like the actual like Earth native and in response and like, being a shitty teenager. It works in that respect. So I want to give moment to moment a 1 overall.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say.
Hopefully that was a decent way. Like, honestly, it's so hard in an audio medium to like describe graphic novels here. So I did my best. Paris did her best as well. Okay, Terriblo's presence. I find it hard to really classify this, to be honest with you. It's just a very phoned in as hell book. It's not like crazy, wildly out there. The chaos levels aren't there, except for the general plot incoherence, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's definitely not a 1. I would give it a 0. I don't think I'd give it a -1 though, because it's just poorly thought out plot wise more than anything else. So I'm skating across this. Terriblo's presence is a 0. Should this exist? Would readers of this genre enjoy this? Well, as we saw from some Reddit comments, a big nope here. I don't even think this really would speak to many people because of how it is constructed with like, okay, she's feeling alienated for all these reasons. It's sort of an extraordinary situation, but she doesn't do anything to develop or get brought out of it besides like, oh no, my mom's going to die. Now I'm angry enough to have powers and now I'm accepted by my mom's group. So it does not serve the purpose of self-discovery that you would assume some young readers might want in this. Do we feel as if the author's goal was met? Fucking absolutely not. If you're trying to like all that back of the book stuff that's like finding your identity, and it's like, not at all. If that was your goal, you fucked up, because I did not, there was no material here to dive into. I guess I should just follow in my parents' footsteps if they're famous and superpowered, and everything will be okay. Does it add anything new, interesting, or novel? It had such an opportunity to do so by using that multi-layered, like, I'm the daughter of a superheroine and I'm also queer. There's plenty of things to explore there, but all of that is just super brushed under the rug. So not at all.
I think the only thing that I appreciated about there's 2 small things I appreciated. Maybe one isn't so small. And the one that's not so small is that the lesbians get a happy ending and they don't have to die,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
nice because so much media about queer femmes is like involves tragedy and trauma, and this is just a standard like, hey, two girls like each other and they get together in the end, and that's cool. And the other thing I like is that at least Mandy didn't have to lose weight and change her appearance and, you know, the way she carries herself to be accepted. However, her getting powers kind of like, it's almost like invalidates that part of it for me. So that's a little tough, but it's something. It's something.
I will agree. I do like the representation that I see here and that everyone is just like generally cool with a bunch of stuff. I mean, except for Derek and Deb, who are like shitty about
And
chubby
fat
people.
shaming, yeah.
That's really as far as it goes, but they're explicitly meant to be shitty ass people, right?
Right.
Did it take something from us? Nah, I mean, this was an easy breezy read. I did it in like literally 30 minutes flat because it is a graphic novel and pretty easy to get through. I gotta give should this exist a -1 on this though because of the squandered opportunity.
Yeah,
like you could. I'm sure even this author's other work is probably a way better exploration of this kind of stuff. So I don't know if this was just like a DC Comics paycheck that she was like, I don't know, I'll fucking fart this out real quick just to get like that sweet money.
Well, and to be fair, like people looking for lesbian or queer content, media, fiction, like they are happy to snap up anything and see how it goes because there's so little in that genre. I mean, obviously the last couple of years it's become more prevalent, but I think it might be a little bit like, I'm just gonna put this storyline in there, I'm gonna make this about ladies being gay, and that might be the ticket. So
okay, well, it's time to score. Technical construction was a 1, plot construction was a -1, moment to moment was a 1, Terriblo's presence was a 0. Should this exist as a -1? So 0 out of 5. Paris,
seems
which
about right.
honestly,
Seems about right.
Yeah, that's. I might even score it like a little bit lower if I had to like weight the scales a bit, but it's 0 out of 5 for like because it's a graphic novel. I really want to actually give a lot of credit to Yoshitani as the artist on this one.
Yeah, it's
actually really good work on that. So that is what is like really putting it on the 0, I would say.
Right.
Okay, can we fix it? Please, God, do not step on the whole apparatus you built of coming out from a parent's shadow by just having you be the shadow in the end.
Like, literally, like the darker version of your mom who isn't evil because her sister fulfills that role. Yeah.
You could have dove into deeper waters about how you could be alienated on multiple levels being an unpowered child of an alien princess who's queer, but you didn't at all. So... I don't know, do that next time. That's really all I have to say because as far as like the art and everything else, that's all actually pretty good. So there's competency here. It is just the lack of depth that astounded me. Okay, well, Paris, that's all I have to say about I Am Not Starfire. And it is time to thank our patrons and Ko-fi donors. Thank you to our bad bookworms, Ben, Donnie, Emily, Jakub, Jared, Scott, and Will. Our exacting editors, Kieran, David, D, Emmy, Funny Robot with Antennas, Greg, Harry, 7, Martin, rootbeercutie, The Ugly One, Elliot, and Xander. Our loathsome librarians like Veronica, Beast with the Least, Yanka, Luchek, Patricia, Julius, and Of the Void, the Taco-eating unicorn of the Hot Springs. And our pesky publishers like Miles, Austin, Patrick, Fred, and George. Also, our Ko-fi donors like Mark, Tracy, our ever-faithful Kiwi Thing, Excavating Lizard, along with Martin F. Brenna and Matthew, who relieved us of terrible books. If you want some terrible books we've read for the show, you can buy them over on our Ko-fi page. All right, Paris, I'm off to stage an intergalactic contest for the throne at a fucking high school football field, because that's where you do that shit. So catch me at BC High's track field where I am fighting a blood duel with my alien uncle or something. I don't know, man.
Yep. Sounds about it.
That's real fucking funny to me that like alien princess is like, I don't know, this lacrosse field. She had Mandy and Starfire. It wasn't like that's where Mandy and Starfire were. It's like she took them there. I don't know. Okay. Well, that's a weird sign off, but that's what I'm going to be doing.
All right. I guess I'm gonna go just get mad enough to see if I develop powers.
Okay, that'll you just and like scream real hard and
yeah, that's it.
And then you can, I don't know, fart radiation or whatever.
I did it.
Or you will have that, you'll be that mutant with the really big hand. You'll just all of a sudden have a really fucking big hand. That's all. Imagine if like your partner was at death's door and you had to save them and you go like, oh, and you just got a really fucking big hand and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do with that.
Stop and hold up your big hands to the attack.
You smush anything. Crocodile smushed. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, Scroat and Big Hand Lady away!
Thank you for listening to another episode of Terrible Book Club. Terrible Book Club is an independent podcast produced by your hosts, Paris and Chris. Sound design and audio editing by Chris, with sound effects and music by Epidemic Sound and sometimes also Chris. Our theme song is Kiss by Yearn, which is, you guessed it, actually also Chris. You can find more of his soothing synthy sounds on Bandcamp at yearn.bandcamp.com. Do you want us to review a book of your choice on the show? Do you want access to some extra audiovisual weirdness? If so, become a patron at patreon.com/terriblebookclub. If you'd like to send us a one-time tip instead, you can do that at ko-fi.com/terriblebookclub. You can also support TBC for free by sharing the show on social media, following our accounts on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or Goodreads, telling your friends about your favorite episode, or by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or anywhere else on the internet. To send us book recommendations or your adorable pet photos, send an email to terriblebookclub@gmail.com.
Excuse me, I need to chase a mouse out of my house. Sorry, there was a mouse. I just had to shoot it.
Fuck out of here, mouse.
It's very small. Well, you know, the cat died 2 months ago, so now the cat stink has worn off, so...
And the mice are like, oh, it's fucking time. Let's go.
Yeah, so they kind of use this as like a highway.
Where's the cheese?
They don't do anything in our apartment. They just sort of, you know... It's the Underground Railroad for mice, I guess. Anyway, I'm sorry
you were interrupting the deep DC lore knowledge that I have of, I guess, Starfire and Nightwing had a romantic thing at some point.